Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are here today at Monroe Furniture Center in Monroe. And recently, Emily, you and Janet caught up with the ladies of Hot Pink University and talked a little bit about travel. It's such an influential part of a lot of people's lives and can really change you and help you grow as a person. And so we're going to take a look at that interview with Christy and Ann.
Hi, and welcome back to Girl Talk. We are having a lovely time here chatting with Miss Christy and Miss Ann. They are the co-creators of Hot Pink Youniveristy, capital YOU, which is really important and really special because it focuses on the you that's in all of us and really kind of treasuring that part of you or me. Yeah. They also are the co-authors of Ignite Your Life. Great book. We're going to talk a little bit about the book and a lot of things that are really fun. I noticed very much that you talk about the theme of comfort zones and travel. So my attention was definitely captured on these themes. I want to hear a little bit more about that from your minds.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, Ann and I love to travel, even outside of Hot Pink University and the work that we do with women through that. But we like to travel also with men and women. And so in 2018, we're doing a Vietnam trip. With men and women, and I've been there before, and what travel does for me, and I think I'm speaking for Ann too, is it totally takes you out of your comfort zone and exposes you to people that you would never travel with ever in your life, and also the culture of where you are. And when you're out of your comfort zone, there's growth. You can't grow without discomfort. It's just not possible. And so travel is one of the ways that we really like to take groups of people to experience that.
I love it. I sure understand. I've gotten to travel a fair bit in my life. Would love to do more. I certainly love it. It makes you have such perspective on your own culture, your own self, and all the things you thought were normal, or the norm, if you will. So yeah, wonderful. Well, a little jealous, but good for you.
You can join us.
I will. Okay, let's go.
I loved how you touched on the culture part, because especially you're going to Vietnam. That is a very different culture, and yet I think people eventually realize that we're actually very similar when it comes down to the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely.
I also love the idea of getting out of the comfort zone, and you're going to experience that whether you're going through the airport, whether you're actually in a different culture, whether you're with different people or not. So lots of opportunities for growth. When we were on commercial break, we were talking about something where it's a fun question to ask. When's the last time you did something for the first time? And this would definitely be a first time for some folks. So you have a trip coming up. It's in Vietnam, and it's in December, so almost a year out. Talk to us about what this would be like for people. And it's not just women. It's men, too, are invited to this.
Yeah. So we've embarked on this new additional endeavor into lifeless travel. It was a term that Christy came up with that we just fell madly in love with.
Lifeless?
Lifeless, not bucket list, right? But do it while you're vibrant and living.
Yeah, sure.
And so just in follow-up, one of the most transformational pieces, and that we're talking about pushing those edges, right, and comfort zones, one of the most transformational pieces that we experience and that we see unfold is traveling with a group of people, some of which you may know and have traveled with many times, some of which you may never have met before. We really, really pride ourselves on full immersion and creating this container and cocoon, and we loosely facilitate. I mean, we're certainly not working 24 hours a day. But what really unfolds is this beautiful community we refer to as our travel or our adventure tribe in each of the trips we take. And the way pushing those comfort zones shapes the way you interact with other people, and the building of that sort of collective consciousness and the transformation that comes from being around the world and experiencing those things together and holding space for one another. And
You bring up such a good point about getting out of, when you're in your comfort zone, you're surrounded by everything that's familiar, and you don't grow. The only way you really grow is when you get uncomfortable. And that's what you're all about here.
Yeah, we like to say if you don't feel some level of anxious, it's probably not a big enough reach.
That's right. Jump even further outside of that zone because you're still too comfortable, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you learn from being uncomfortable, and you learn from the people who are uncomfortable around you, and then when you succeed at tackling the adventure, you really end up feeling bonded. I know I got to spend some time in college in Italy, and the folks that I went with, I mean, we were such bonded ladies because of it. It was wonderful. How do you work with women in travel? We're running out of time quickly, but if you want to speak to it real quickly.
Yeah, I think what we mainly do is we create the safe container of a tribe that you're traveling with, something that's so unfamiliar, so foreign, that we just create that safe container. And we have some play shops we weave in there and entertain people on the buses and things like that.
Fun. So it's a little bit guided, but it's a little bit free, and
It
it's
is.
definitely a way to to be a tribe. I love the tribe idea. Thank you so much for that. This is Christy and Ann with Hot Pink University. We are talking about travel, and we will talk a little bit more about lots of things after the break. This is Girl Talk.